So the speed time graph shows the motion of an object, as you can see here, right? How far does the object travel at constant speed? How far does this be? You will have to find the area of this, right? So distance is speed into time, and the speed here is 5, and the time here is 10. So the answer is 50. Is that clear, everyone?
जी सर.
ठीक है. Which statement about a falling object accelerating close to Earth's surface is correct? जी, the weight of, देखिए अगर आपके पास एक फॉल कर रही है अर्थ के पास, तो weight of the object is constant, but the force of air resistance of the object is increasing, right? Weight तो constant रहेगा, लेकिन जब वो air में travel करेगी, तो क्या होगा? Air resistance बढ़ता जाएगा. The weight of the object is increasing and the force of air resistance is decreasing. No. The weight of the object and the force of air resistance on the object are equal of magnitude, but no. But ऐसा तो नहीं होता, वो आहिस्ता आहिस्ता air resistance बढ़ता है. So the answer is C. आप लोगों ने An aircraft is moving 60 meters per second in the northerly direction, and when a crosswind from the east starts to blow, the speed of the wind is 13 meters per second. They get from the east. It is flowing from the east, right? So you have basically north here, you have east here, this is west. So it's flowing from the east here, right? Okay. And अगर इस तरफ जा रही है, the speed of the wind is 13, right? You have to find the magnitude. इसका आंसर आ रहा है C. आप Pythagoras theorem यूज करेंगे. It's a right angle triangle, right? So this is 30, this is 60, and you see that this is the resultant that we have, and we get your answer here, right? So the answer is C. ठीक है, Pythagoras लगाना है सिर्फ यहाँ पे. Rectangular blocks consist of different materials. 4 different methods are suggested to compare the two masses. Which methods give a comparison of the two masses? The answer is an object in a space probe of the Earth weighs 3.5 Newton. The gravitational field strength at the height of the space probe is 7 Newton per kg. ठीक है? The gravitational field strength on the Earth's surface is 9.8 Newton per kg, right? What are the mass and the weight of the object on the Earth's surface? It's B. You multiply weight is equal to mg. ठीक है, mass is 0.5, g is 9.8. जब आप करेंगे तो आपके पास weight आ जाएगा. इसको अगर आप करेंगे तो ये आंसर नहीं आता. इसको करेंगे तो ये आंसर नहीं आता. So you have 9.8 being multiplied with the mass, and you will get the answer for that. A cyclist is traveling in a straight line along a horizontal road at a constant speed. A constant driving force acts on the cyclist in the forward direction shown. Which statement about the magnitude of the frictional forces acting on the cyclist is correct? Straight line पे जा रहा है, constant speed पे जा रहा है. Constant speed का मतलब है कि friction भी involved है. The forward force जो होगी वो frictional force की equal होगी और opposite होगी obviously उसके. ठीक है? A spring has an unstretched length 3 centimeters. When a force of 60 Newton is applied to the spring, its length increases to 5 centimeters. The limit of proportionality is not exceeded. What is the spring constant of the spring? Is equal to KE लगाना है. Force is 60 और आपके पास extension जो है वो 2 आ रही है. सेंटीमीटर न्यूटन पर सेंटीमीटर में आपका आंसर आ जाएगा. Easy. The diagram shows the minimum force F1 required acting vertically on a lever required to lift a heavy log of weight. The log needs to be lifted by a smaller force than F1. Okay. The diagram shows the changes tried. Each diagram has only one change from the original diagram. In each case, F2 is the minimum force required to lift the log. So, उसने कहा in which situations F2 will be smaller than F1? B के अंदर, ठीक है? B के अंदर क्योंकि आपने देखें ये तो जो है आपके पास डिस्टेंस इतना ज्यादा है और ये F2 F1 से छोटा होगा, तभी ये उठ रहा है क्योंकि पहले F1 यहाँ पे था और ये डिस्टेंस कम था। तो अब आपके पास डिस्टेंस बढ़ गया, तो F2 बेशक छोटा हो जाए F1 से, तो ये उठ जाएगा, ये उसको उठा देगा। ठीक है, क्योंकि आपने मोमेंट बढ़ जाएगा ना, आपने डिस्टेंस बढ़ा दिया है। यहाँ पे डिस्टेंस कम था, यहाँ पे डिस्टेंस ज्यादा है, यहाँ पे डिस्टेंस ज्यादा है। तो F2 जो है, एक केस ये हो गया। उसके बाद अगर आप यहाँ पे देखें, तो यहाँ पे आपके पास ये बिल्कुल परपेंडिकुलर है इसके। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे भी जो है वो सिनेरियो ये आ रहा है कि आपके पास उसने क्वेश्चन पूछा है F1 से स्मॉलर होगा, क्योंकि ये 90 डिग्री पे, तो ये भी ज्यादा मोमेंट प्रोड्यूस कर देगी, क्योंकि ये 90 डिग्री पे नहीं था, दिस वाज नॉट एट 90 डिग्रीज। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे ये उतना ही केस प्रोड्यूस कर रही है 90 डिग्री। ठीक है, ये स्मॉलर होगा तो ये उठ जाएगा। ठीक है, ये 4 है तो इसका परपेंडिकुलर कंपोनेंट 2 बनेगा ना, या 3 बनेगा। ये ऑब्वियसली हाइपोटेन्यूज हमेशा बड़ा होता है, तो ये छोटा होगा। ठीक है, और इस पे देखें तो ये यहाँ पे तो आपको ज्यादा फोर्स लगानी पड़ेगी, क्योंकि डिस्टेंस कम हो गया, डिस्टेंस कम हो गया यहाँ पे। डी, a ball of mass 0.25 kilogram hits a wall at a speed of 16. It then rebounds back along its original path at a speed of 12. Okay, this is the ball of mass 0.25 kilograms, and the speed is 16 meter per second. Then it rebounds back along its original path at a speed of 12 meter per second. What is the impulse experienced by the ball during its impact with the wall? देखें, जे जा रही थी इस तरह, इसकी वेलोसिटी इनिशियल थी 16, ऐसे ही है।
जी
अच्छा,
सर।
फाइनल वेलोसिटी क्या होगी? दैट विल बी -12। कैन यू डू दिस? सो impulse is mv minus mu. So the mass is 0.25. Final velocity is -12 minus 0.25. The initial velocity is 16. इसको जब आप सॉल्व करेंगे आपका आंसर आ जाएगा, एंड दैट आंसर इज 7। ओवरऑल -7 आएगा, लेकिन दैट इज द impulse experienced by the ball, right? ठीक है, the impulse experienced by the ball is 7
सर
newtons.
-12 लेना जरूरी है, खाली
नहीं,
12 ही
वो करना जरूरी है, उसके बगैर आपसे सॉल्व नहीं होगा, डायरेक्शंस को करना जरूरी है, वरना आंसर नहीं आएगा। A bicycle braking system transfers energy from a kinetic energy stored to an internal energy store. A motor converts energy from a chemical energy stored to kinetic energy store. What enables these energy transfers? ठीक है, D, that is the mechanical work, and this is the electrical work, right? उसने कहा हुआ है कि ब्रेकिंग सिस्टम है, it transfers energy from a kinetic energy stored to internal kinetic energy से ये है, तो a motor converts energy from chemical energy stored to kinetic energy stored. What enable these energy transfers? तो ब्रेकिंग सिस्टम में क्या हो रहा है कि मैकेनिकल वर्क डन कर रहे हैं, और मोटर में क्या हो रहा है, आप इलेक्ट्रिकल वर्क कर रहे हैं। ठीक है, आपको बहुत हाई टेम्परेचर चाहिए होता है, सन और स्टार के अंदर ये होता है। So temperature needed is very high, and the nuclei are positively charged and repel each other, right? So that's why it's quite difficult for us to establish that. The engine of motor vehicle develops a large power. Which statement is correct? The engine must transfer large amounts of energy each second, right? ठीक है, पावर इज एनर्जी ओवर टाइम, सो ज्यादा एनर्जी होगी पर सेकंड, तो आपके पास ज्यादा फैक्टर आ जाएगा, राइट? Graph shows how the pressure due to a liquid varies with the depth beneath the liquid surface. The gravitational field strength is this. What is the density of the liquid? How can you find the density? आपके पास प्रेशर और डेप्थ का ग्राफ था, तो प्रेशर over depth is equal to rho g. So gradient of this graph is equal to rho g. The gradient of this graph and what you will do is your subject. So gradient of this graph over Gradient of this graph over G will give you the answer is, the answer comes out to be B. What is the lowest possible temperature and what happens to the energy of the particles at this temperature?
A.
Particles
A.
have the least. Which statement about the particles of a substance after condensation is correct? They're close to each other and they are able to slide away. Right. G, question 16. Same initial temperature है. The car is left in bright sunshine and their temperature increases. During the night, their temperature decreases. Which car shows the greater
तो
rate
A
of
होगा.
temperature? The answer is black is a good absorber and black is also a good emitter as well. A drop of water from a tap falls onto the surface of some water of constant depth. Water waves spread out on the surface of the water. Which statement is correct?
C.
Okay, the waves are transverse and they travel at the same speed in all directions, right? Each point F is one focal length from the center of the lens. Each point 2F is two focal length from the center of the lens. Which diagram shows a converging lens being used as a magnifying glass? Magnifying glass के लिए हमेशा वो F से पहले होगा, right? So you'll get the answer, that is D. Question number 19. ठीक है? So a monochromatic ray of green light in air enters a block of glass. Which property of the ray of light always remains the same as it moves from air to the glass?
C.
Frequency.
It's the frequency. It depends on the source. ठीक है? A narrow beam of white light passes through a prism and is dispersed into a spectrum. Which row is correct? Red light deviates the least. Red सबसे कम deviate करेगी और blue सबसे ज्यादा deviate करेगी, सबसे ज्यादा bend होगी. ठीक है, तो इसका आंसर आपके पास आता है C. A student writes 4 statements matching a communication system to the region of the electromagnetic spectrum that it uses to transmit signals. Which statement is correct? ये आपको याद करना है, ठीक है? आपको टेलीविजन के अंदर, it's the answer is C, right?